Hello and welcome to the channel. I am Rafai Fields, founder and CEO of Power to Rise. We are going through something extremely exciting today, which is setting up custom agents inside of Notion. This is a brand new feature just dropped, and the best news is I'm recording this at the end of February 2026. If you get started now, and I mean right now through about May 4th, 2026, the use of custom agents is free. After that, it will be rolling over into a credit-based system. Now, I should say it's free if you're on the plan that has AI functionality. But don't worry, if you're just getting started, you get access to a free trial to test drive all the things. But here's why this matters. Here's why this is such a generous offer that you don't want to miss. While the process of setting up agents is easy breezy, it is so seamless, you're going to fall over. You're going to be like, tip me over with a feather. I can't believe I just did that. It's going to be a breeze. But using the agent from after the period of the beta, it's going to be consumption or usage based. You're likely going to go through more consumption during the setup, testing, and iteration phase, those early steps, than you will once your agent gets to the maintenance phase. So take full advantage, build, test, and improve between now and May at no additional charge. Make this a priority, take full advantage because it is too good to pass up. So with that, we're going to jump over into the training environment. I'll walk you through everything you need to know. The first thing we're going to do is after you open up your free Notion account and you get onto the trial for the business plan, it's going to be very important that you're on the business plan so that you can have AI functionality. You will come back and you'll click on the overlapping squares. When you do that, you are getting a copy of this template into your own workspace, and that's going to be vital for being able to go into the inner layers of some of the templates that are designed to help you accelerate faster. Now, keep in mind, this is the custom AI agent feature, which is slightly different than your Notion AI agent on your overall workspace. So I'm going to speak a little bit to those differences because this training is designed for people who are newer to building and designing agents. So I'm still going to cover some of the principles, the building blocks, if you will, for what supports a good agent, but I will also speak to why this is a little different and how the two play together, because there are some nuances you want to be aware of. Structurally, on the page that you're on right now, by the time you see this coming soon will be replaced by the video that you're watching. And then the resources that I'm speaking to in terms of building documentation and templates for longer term, it's more aligned to your workspace agent. They're so closely related that I'm going to make sure that you have access to the templates on both sides of the training. So if you haven't set up your workspace AI agent, I encourage you to do that first using these tools, then come back to me and we'll start working on your custom agent. Now, as of today, this is late February 2026. And custom agents have now been rolled out to everyone, which is awesome. It's in its beta launch, but everyone has access to it. And now through May 4th, 2026, you can use the custom agents at no additional charge. As long as you're on the business plan that has access to the AI functionality, go ham. This is your time to play. This is important though, because starting May 4th, the agents go to a credit-based model. So you only pay for the custom AI agent use that you use, but know this, the setup, testing, refinement process is always more consumption heavy than the maintenance process, or I should say the vast majority of use cases, it'll be that way. So take advantage of this free period. Get your hands wet, get in the clay, start learning how to maneuver with the design of the AI agent, and then by the time May comes around, you'll understand how you're using it and where you can make adjustments to get the best value for what you need to be successful. So covering the building blocks of successful agent manual, I want to speak to why this is important for my people. If you're with me on this journey, there's likely one of a couple of reasons that you're here. One could be that you are of a community of color. You're a Black woman, you're a Black man. Maybe you don't identify as male or female. Hey, that's okay too. But you come from a community or a culture that is different from mainstream. And in AI, this really matters because tone and voice, without being programmed or prompted to go in a different direction, the voice that AI tends to generate in is not well aligned with cultures and communities of color. So that might be one reason that you're here. The other could be that you're in healthcare. And healthcare also has its own variety and flavoring, which is it's a highly regulated industry. Compliance is not optional. And for that reason, when we build tools that are in healthcare and for community, we have to take a slightly different approach than, say, other industries that might be designing tools on this platform. So if you're here, you're in one of those categories, hey, I'm your people. But know that the way I give training and guidance may be different from what you hear other places. And it's likely because of one of those things. In general, what makes an agent different than a generative AI tool is that you will give it guardrails. You'll say, you know what, this is what I need you to do. But that agent will typically go figure out the best process to execute getting the work done. If you're in the categories that I just described, that could work. There's a chance that it could work. Without being guided specifically, there's a good chance that the agent is going to miss something in context related to community, cultural concordance, or compliance without explicitly being designed to follow those guardrails. So think of it this way. What I'm going to walk you through in this documentation standard is not designed to be restrictive. We don't want to tie the agent into a straitjacket to the point where it has no space to do the things that it's great at doing. But we also want to make sure that it's very clear the things that must be true when it's going out to do its work. Now, I think one of the best things you can do with pretty much any type of project, any type, whether it's a human or a robot, is to start with why. Hey, Simon Sinek, I love that book. Start with your mission and your impact. Why is the agent being created? Who is it designed to serve? Who's the audience? What is special or unique about serving them? Make sure the agent understands those things pretty early on because it may guide the way it approaches how to do the work. The next thing you want to do is be very explicit and describing the work that it is going to carry out. So you want to be very clear about what the scope, the responsibilities are. You want to definitely be clear about boundaries. These are the things you absolutely should not do. These are your guardrails. And how does your work fit into the broader context of everything else that is happening in this business, in this digital ecosystem, depending on what you're using Notion for? I think the more context the agent has, the simpler it's going to be to deliver quality outputs for you without a very precise this is exactly how you do it every single time. You're giving it guidance on how to find the best approach. Next, you're going to want to make sure that there is clear information around security and governance. What should users do when interacting with the agent? Now, usually you are programming it to take action on its own without user intervention. But if it is being called up, if you will, to interact in the workspace, you still want to give it guidance and boundaries on what it should or should not do and how to respond if it gets a request that's outside of its guardrails. So help the agent know what to do in those circumstances. If you have a policy that the agent needs to follow, you definitely want to highlight that. Make sure that's included in the instructions. And then finally, any use cases, examples, frameworks, or processes, Remember, this is about a degree of detail. You don't have to tell the agent how to do the ins and outs of every little task. It will figure it out. But if there is a consistency that you want applied to the outputs, you're going to want to give it the process, the framework, the outline of how to go about creating that consistent result. And this last piece is important, but it's more for you than the agent itself. This is about good documentation standards. You're going to want to make sure that you have an intentional naming convention for your documents related to this agent, and then version control. You want to know who was the last person to touch on it, what that date was, so that when you go back to look at making changes and updates, you know that you're working from the right copy. Okay? So with all of that said, my personal recommendation, which might be slightly different than what you'll see in the process, is to create a page or a document that has all of this stored. I would actually put this on a Notion page itself. The next thing you're going to want to do is start going through the setup process. And for this, I'm going to actually take you into a custom agent system that I'm building and framing out right now. And then you'll get to see in real time how some of these directions are playing out. So within that setup process, you're going to navigate to the left side panel. Really quickly, I'll show you the big reveal. This is one of the custom agents I'm in the process of testing right now. You'll see that how you get there is on the navigation panel that is always to your left. You're looking to come, I'll show you, it's about midways down. You're looking for the section that says agents, and then to create a new one, you'd simply click on that plus sign. From there, Notion AI supports you through every step. It's truly an amazing building experience, especially if this is your first time. I cannot imagine a simpler or gentler process for building tech. You're going to see how easy it is and fall in love with it in just a matter of moments. The next thing you're going to do is come into the screen. It's going to say, what do you want the agent to do? And it's really as simple as answering that question. Just give it some general idea of the name and the role you want that agent to play. Keep it very simple. You do not have to go in and add all the details I just walked you through in this particular screen. I'll show you where you're going to do that in just a moment. Number 3 here is an interim step. You can either use this template and add a page there, or you can use just a blank Notion page, name it with your agent's name, and fill out the information that we talked about up here on that page, and that will be more than enough to get started. All right, so from here, you're gonna come in and you're gonna go back to that window, and it's gonna ask you to refine the training. So you're gonna come into the side panel here after you come and you write your couple of sentences in that opening session of what you want the agent to do. This is what comes open. And now you're gonna have the opportunity to set automations or triggers, like when this happens, do that. And you'll have the ability to refine the instructions. This is where you can go in and copy and paste more detail. And by the way, you can chat with the agent itself right here in this window, and it will automatically make the adjustments for you. So let me give you an example of how this works. So this is the weekly version in that same 3-agent series. And this particular version can go in and make changes to my calendar. And where you would set that up is right here in the, right below the pages. You can add connections and you can use your Google Calendar, you can use Notion Calendar. You have a few options of how you can make that work depending on how you've built your digital ecosystem around you. And then finally, when you've made all your changes, don't forget you can hit save in the upper right, and it will also throw a big rectangle down here above the window so that you don't miss it. if you want the changes to stick, you have to hit that save button. Now, I think it's a best practice to have your instructions in a separate page and document it within the system. But this is just how the inner workings of my brain works, especially because this is a stack of 3 agents. I put this documentation together, which is just an overview of the entire set of agents, how they're designed to work. So you can daisy chain if that is helpful, if you're trying to design a more complex system, or you can simply just use a single agent. Your call. The beautiful thing about Notion is that you will be able to imagine and play with the tools to your heart's content between now and May 4th. As long as you're on the business plan, sky's the limit. Go ham crazy. I think the simplest way to start learning more about becoming a designer and a leader of AI is to immerse yourself with using the tools. And this is a wonderful and generous opportunity to do exactly that. So once you have everything all set up, there are a couple of ways that you can bring your agent into workflow with you inside of Notion. One is going back to that left panel that we have come to love, and there's that nice section of agents, and then you can always find or expand that more. Those 3 dots will bring up the rest of your agents in the panel right next to it. Or you can go into the chat window, like the icon that's in the bottom right of your screen, and then hit the @ sign and start typing A. If you type an agent, all your agents will come up and you have the same ability. That's it. It is super, super simple to get started. And from here, you have everything you need if you want to learn more about the trials or how to get started with either the custom agent or your workspace agent. I've added all the links here for your convenience. But my biggest hope is that more people, especially people who don't have the opportunity to design with AI on a day-to-day basis, will use this particular window that we've been granted between now and May 4th to roll up our sleeves, play around, test, and learn. Because once you learn the fundamentals of building with AI, it really does cross over to many different tools. Every tool is going to have a nuance here or there, but what you'll discover is the principles are the same. And so once you've got it, you'll be able to figure out how to take it even deeper and build an even more robust tool. It's all about iteration. It's like test, learn, test, learn. So if you have any questions, let me know. I can't wait to hear your feedback. All the things that you are going to build with your AI agents, drop them in the comments below. Send me an email. Send it to hello@powertorise.com. I would be so appreciative of that. Or I'll look forward to seeing you out in the world or on the next training. Bye.